That was my attempt at singing like an angel. But look at this, the iconic 1300cc GSXR. Oh, I've waited a lifetime for this, and I'll explain to you a bit of a backstory when we get on the road. But look at this absolute land jet ski, as I like to think of these things. Look how wide this thing is. Incredible. Oh, baby. And this one, as a quick caveat, has been tuned. So it's been tuned with a system, because what do you need when you get a Hayabusa? More power, apparently. Quick backstory on this thing before we get into how this feels. Basically, my uncle had one of these when I was about, I would have been 12, 13 years old. He had this thing in the black and gold trim, probably the best color in my opinion. That actually ended up getting stolen not too long after him having it. And it took about 2 years or something crazy for the insurance to pay out. It was a big rigmarole. Someone basically backed up into a parking lot in a van and ended up just dragging his bike into the back of a van. It was never seen again. But yes, that aside, that's where my love of this thing started, and it's so cool for it to come full circle for me to be able to ride one now. But anyway, let's get into it. First of all, this thing feels super stable. It's a 1300cc inline four, so what do you expect? It's going to go if you want it to go. It doesn't care about the laws of physics. That's the first thing. So much power, and surprisingly, it actually goes around the corner quite well. I don't know about the clearance on the foot pegs and things. I'm not willing to push it that hard today. It's not my bike. This is, thankfully, Hamish, absolute legend. This is his bike. He gave me the opportunity to ride, so thank you, dude. But this thing is super planted and super smooth. It just wants to go. Like, look how low I am in the RPMs. I'm in 5th gear. And look. Dudes. I'm sure we'll get more into the power as we get into this video, but that's a given on this bike, isn't it? And just a quick caveat, the speedo on this bike is slightly out, so the sprockets have been changed in the front and back. I think it's up 1 or 2 teeth in the rear and down 1 in the front. So that with a tune gives this thing way more acceleration than it needs. And because this thing has no ABS, no traction control, none of that stuff that we don't care about, there's none of these electronics nannying us. It's just me, myself, and I. So basically it's just a throttle cable all the way through to this ridiculously overpowered motor. And I've been told if you do give it too much power, the back wheel will spin like no tomorrow. Look at it. It's like being on a jet ski. I mean, think about it, this thing has a bigger engine than a lot of cars on the road. I think that says it all by far. Oh, it balances so well too with the weight, and it's so low to the ground. It's so easy to put your feet down. Of course it's lower because it's designed to be a low streamlined piss missile. Let's not beat around the bush. This thing is just built for one thing in mind. It's built for lunatics to break speed barriers at the time. But because of that, the geometry is actually quite friendly on the road, especially if you're a shorter rider. And now it's starting to make sense why I see a lot of, let's say, middle-aged, older fellas on these things. Because it's so capable, you don't really have to think too much. The power is always there, it's so smooth, you can just cruise on these things all day. And of course you get the looks. This thing at that gas station we just came from, the guy working there was like, "I like your bike, man." And I was like, dude, unfortunately, this isn't actually my bike, mine is that orange one over there. And he said, "Oh, I like that one too." And I said, "Sure you do, buddy, you don't have to fluff my ego." But the point is, this thing just grants so much attention from everybody. Most males know what this bike is. Oh, she's windy, boys. Okay, yeah. Now I see why people get into trouble on things like this so easy. Not just because it's so easy to break the speed. I mean, I'm barely pushing it and it's just going. It's because it's so smooth at doing so, as it's designed to do. What you don't realize unless you're paying attention to the speedo, not this one of course because it's out of whack, but what you don't realize is how fast, I don't think the camera's going to do justice, this thing picks up and makes you feel like you're going slow. That's the biggest thing I'm noticing here. So you enter corners way faster than you think you're going, just because it makes you feel like you're going half the speed slower. A bit like It's very specific, but if you guys ever saw that Top Gear episode where James May, I think it was, drove the Bugatti, and then when he finally came to a stop after doing the top speed of it, he was about to jump out of the car, put his foot down to come to a stop, like do a really cool rolling stop shot, and realised he was still going about 50 miles an hour before he could even put his feet down because he thought he was going about 5. And I think we might have taken a wrong turn. But that's cool. U-turn on a Busa. Oh, this thing is so planted. Goes back to just what I said. I can see why people do long rides on these things. Stick on a tank bag and a bag on the back. Let's go, Busa baby! I'll slowly roll on. Oh wow, okay, yep. I hope you can hear that, man. Listen to the symphony of greatness. Ready? Downshift. Oh, it's such an angry machine! Anyway, we're on a Busa, let's Busa it. 4th gear. Ridiculous! I love it. I'm obsessed. And if you guys want to see what these things can truly do, go watch a lunatic who will rev this out all the way through all the gears. I can't do that, unfortunately for you, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm not that type of channel. I'm not risking my monetization, my reputation, and my license for you guys. But just rest assured, I may or may not give this a full twist experience when the camera accidentally turns off. But let's just take a second to move away from the power and just appreciate the beauty of this bike. You just know what you're getting into when you ride one of these things. Ah, I love 4 cylinders. Such a smooth experience, and it glides around the corner. I'm sure he's probably thinking, why am I taking it so easy? But this isn't my bike, and I am very careful with people's bikes, because can you imagine if I binned this? I wouldn't be able to live with myself knowing I just binned someone's Hayabusa. And let me just throw out there real quick that this is such a beautiful day as well, and this is a perfect time for you just to hit that like and subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. I've got so many more bikes to bring to the channel, and I'm sure we can take this out another time if you want to get like a part 2 that isn't just my initial feelings. I'm sure he's having a fun time on that bike too. There's something about that SMCR that you just can't recreate on many other bikes. It makes it so playful. This is playful but for the wrong reasons, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is playful but will have so many dire consequences. That's playful and it's like, okay, I can hit the brakes and laugh and giggle. This is playful until that street light comes at you 10 times faster than you expected, and next minute you're wrapped around it like a flag. I'd love to be able to come back and refer to this video if I did get a Hayabusa and go, I told you so. I'm just enjoying the experience. Whey, buddy! Okay. You know what, Suzuki? I know you're not watching this because I'm such a fly in this huge game, but you should get me as a spokesperson to sell these bikes. If you ever get a chance to ride one of these things, specifically the older generations, this is up there with the Mount Rushmore of motorcycles for a reason. You got to do it. If I owned one of these, just like that KTM, I would give everybody the opportunity to ride it just so they could see exactly what it's about. Once again, dude, Hamish, absolute legend. This is a real like tick box in my life, that full circle moment from seeing my uncle having one of these and sitting on one thinking one day I'll be able to ride this, to actually making it come to fruition, to becoming an adult who now rides motorcycles. And that's just the power of good bikes, man. They bring people together in so many different ways. Oh, I'm trying not to die. Don't let me die, Hayabusa. You've got to be on the ball when you ride something like this, you really do. I don't want to bring it back to being all boring and lame. I've got a little bit of experience under my belt. I'm not a A-class race rider by any chance, but in terms of street riding, I've got enough experience to understand that these bikes are no joke. And that's why, as much as you guys want to see me go absolutely mental on this thing, I've got to treat it with respect, because all it takes is this back wheel to go And this video will turn into something completely different, real quick. It's so easy to downshift. But whether it can respect me is a completely different story. I don't think this thing respects anything. I don't know what we're doing, trying to build space rockets. Elon's doing the wrong thing, man. Dude, Elon, if you're watching this, mate, stick this on a pair of wings and send this to Mars. Or I could just sit in such a high gear. Look, I'm in 6th gear, 6. I thought I was in 3rd. Look, 6. Absolute animal of a machine. This thing isn't scaring me at all. And that is the point I was just making. It's a false sense of security. It makes you think, oh, it's so sound and secure and stable. Oh, great. Just what I need. 180 horsepower underneath my ass on gravel. Here's a quick random tip for you guys if you ever have to ride on gravel. Put all your weight on your feet. I'm borderline standing up. I'm taking my weight off my ass and put the weight into the pegs. Keep the bike upright and let the suspension do the job. The more you stay seated like a normal street bike, the more your arse will shuffle underneath you and you've got more chance of losing that back wheel. So there's a little random tip for you guys if you ride a street bike and ever encounter gravel. Don't stress, keep the speed constant, plant the feet. Go on then. I bet that KTM is hitting such high RPMs to overtake, and this thing is just like, come on bro, can we actually go fast? And as I said, if you want a part 2 of this bike, just let me know. And of course, I'd be more than happy to get this thing out again. So here we are, dudes, at the beautiful Kawa Bay. Such a nice place to come for a nice quick afternoon ride. And I just thought, if I just stop here and do a U-turn and go back the other way, the mirrors on that KTM are so small, he won't even see me turn around. And then we could steal this and never give it back. Oh, he's onto us. Oh, he knows the photo opportunities. And that makes sense for the kickstand. Yeah. Be careful with this kickstand. This thing is prone to tipping over. But there you have it. That is my first thoughts of the Hayabusa. Dude, Hamish, you are a legend, bro. That is so much fun. If you guys enjoyed that, do like, comment and subscribe, do all that stuff. I'll leave you there because that view is beautiful, so is that. Thanks for watching.